And welcome back to the Croak and Crow podcast, where we talk about religion in an unconventional way. I'm Spencer.
I'm Vo.
And I'm in a terrible mood. I broke my computer screen and I want to murder somebody. Not in particular. I want to murder anybody just because I'm in a bad mood.
Okay. You know that won't bring the computer screen back?
It'll make me feel better.
It wouldn't. Then you'd have two problems on your mind. One, that you broke the computer screen, and two, that you broke someone's head.
Fair deal. All right, what are we talking about?
Cleanliness.
Cleanliness? I'm in a bad mood. You want to talk about cleanliness?
Yeah. Cleanliness.
Cleanliness is the closest thing to holiness? How does it go?
Cleanliness is next to godliness. Is that in the Bible?
Is it?
No.
No, it's not.
No.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that people think is in the Bible. They quote it like it's in the Bible. There are parts of the Bible that talk about clean or washing or whatever, but that, I don't know the exact thing. I think it's a 1700s speech or preach, whatever that's called, that people gave, and people attribute it to the Bible.
Okay.
So, if nothing else, of this podcast, you learned that.
Thank you all for coming to the Croak and Crow podcast. We'll see you next week.
Yeah. He's in a bad mood, so it'll be shorter.
No.
Okay.
No, it won't. It'll be longer. If I'm in a bad mood and you guys get to sit through an hour and a half.
Oh, okay. Punish everybody.
Punish everybody.
Yeah.
You can't click off.
No. We have your IP address.
Yeah.
And we'll just email you the podcast repeatedly until we realize that you watched it.
Okay.
Or listen to it.
Let me just gather my thoughts.
You have to perspective it, prioritize it.
Yes.
It's a screen. Who amongst us let he who has not broken a screen not.
No.
Everyone's broken a screen. I have a broken phone screen.
I'm not crying over spilt milk. I'm frustrated.
Yeah. If you were rich, would you be frustrated? If you could just Amazon yourself a new screen, would you be frustrated still?
Yeah. It's like when you're already, because I was already a little bit, not in the best mood. And then it's like when you go to grab your keys and they just fall on the ground.
Yeah.
It's just like it piles on top of each other.
And then everything
yeah.
That's called Murphy's Law.
What can go wrong will go wrong.
Right.
All right. I'm good now. I'm better.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Okay, so
cleanliness.
Cleanliness is not, that particular quote is not in the Bible, but there is a wonderful story in the gospel which I love, and that is Jesus is visiting the house of some people. I'm not really sure whose house he is or what's going to happen, but anyway, I believe it's Martha and Mary. Now, Mary is a name that's used so much in the Bible, I can't keep track of who the Marys are.
It's probably Magdalene.
Heather's is a famous movie. Everyone has the name Heather at that time. This is the Marys. And so I'm pretty sure, Martha's the one that was complaining. So people are going to be coming because this prophet has come to the house for dinner or whatever. So Martha's running around and she's tidying up. She's cutting crudités. She's sweeping and throwing out the, bath water. I don't know what she's doing. Mary, she's just listening to what Jesus has to say. She's asking him questions. She's just like, I'm in the presence of this guy and I can't leave for a second to go fold napkins. Like, this is... So Martha's getting pretty aggravated. And so she literally says to Jesus, are you not going to say anything? Like, this is not fair. You can see that I'm doing everything for this dinner party, whatever they were having. And she's sitting here. I love you too, and I'm listening, but things have to be done. What does Jesus say? He says, she's doing the more important thing.
Damn.
So that is what? What does that mean? How do you know when to be Martha and when to be Mary?
Yeah. I think I am big on cleanliness. My room doesn't say that right now, but usually it's very upkept. So I think that that's really important, but I think when it gets in the way, like, so yeah, so if you're keeping your head down and you're just cleaning up nonstop and just, this is sort of an example or like a metaphor, then it's like what are you doing? You're spending your too much time doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
But with that said, I personally put cleaning up on a pedestal, because it's sort of you're pushing yourself to have your surroundings nice, and I'm big on when you exceed in your own life, then you can start pushing out further, right? So when your life is the most in order, that's when you can then start influencing other people's lives. And so I always say, like, if you have a clean bedroom, then it's going to start, like, my cup runneth over. You start, you might clean your house, then you're able to sit down at peace and not be like, oh, I need to do this, I need my laundry's not folded. The more at peace you can get with your surroundings, then you can start looking at, because it's hard when you have a million things on your plate and then you're like, I want to go read the Bible. It's like, go wash your dishes.
Yeah.
But why I put cleanliness is so high, if you clean your room fully in the morning and you go out on an errand, you come back and then you're sitting in your nice clean space, then you can start doing extra stuff and you feel better. Mm-hmm. You feel better doing it. You don't feel like you're putting anything off.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, like, when it comes to that story in particular, I think it's like that helps me, right? But I don't let it get in the way. I don't get like, not now. I can't do stuff now. I have things on my plate, whether it be cleaning or anything. It could be a million things. But
shopping.
Yeah. So
exercising.
Although it's good to try to get things off your plate and like be in an environment where you get your choring done early, don't let it always be an excuse of I can't like do some introspection now. I can't pray right now. I got things to do. I gotta go make my bed. And then that'll go on forever. And then you're like, well, that was the day.
Yeah. And also that story could, like the Bible, could be symbolic. It doesn't have to be. It's more important to talk to Jesus than to sweep. It could just be a parable saying that God is always the most important person.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean to disregard or to not value cleaning up or getting ready to entertain or
And I am often make a parallel to someone's room or apartment or space as I compare it to your mind, like cluttered room, cluttered mind. And so in that regard, yes, if you talk to some guru in Nepal on a mountain, he'll say, to be the most spiritual, you clear your mind of all thoughts. Right. And then it's between you and the higher power. That would be ideal. But don't be at the same time, you don't want to, I have things on my mind, like, you're going to bed and your mind's racing about like your daily, what you went through in the day. It's like, you relax for a second. Like, you don't need to clear your mind from all that clutter and figure everything out yet to give time to God. Right.
Some people find cleaning to be meditative.
Yeah.
And I've even seen it for mental health. If you have anxiety or depression, it's helpful to clean.
Yeah.
One, because you are cleaning, you're seeing a difference, and it's just an act. First of all, it makes you active.
Yeah.
Gets you up and active. It's if there's a lot of things in your life that you can't fix or control or change, you're having all these little victories. It's like, the carpet was dirty and now I've vacuumed it, and the bathroom was dirty and now so you get these little and you can make anything prayer. So like, and we learned that growing up in Catholic school. They'd always say, give it up to God or offer it up to God. So no matter what you were doing, it was always like I'm sweeping, and you just make that a prayer. Make your activities a prayer.
Yeah.
So you could combine the two, where it's not like at this point I'm praying and at this point cleaning. You could merge them.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I always say that because like with putting things to prayer and God, I feel like too much people think like I'm either doing something that benefits me or I'm giving it to God, and I'm like, okay, let me take my time out of the day and do something for God. I think God made you in His image. A lot, like, you shouldn't be ashamed of doing things for yourself, like working out. I know I always go back to that, but like looking in the mirror and being proud of what you did.
Right.
It doesn't need to be vanity.
Separate.
If you put it all together, and it's like God's the one who gives you strength. God's the one who gives you motivation. Like, give me motivation today to clean my apartment. And then when you're done, you are both happy. You're looking around and you get that good feeling of like you're in a fully clean space. And then you can also be like, thank you, God, for giving me that motivation to do that. And you just did something for yourself and for God. Right. Or through God. You did something for yourself through God.
That's right. And then you just bring them with you all through the day.
Yeah.
You don't have to, have an altar. You're with Him at that point. You close up the altar and you go off. Bring Him with you.
Bring Him with you.
Bring Him with you.
Start the day with a little prayer saying, allow me to have the best day ever.
Yeah.
Then you live your day. You don't need to separate it. Like, okay, hold on, now I need to do 45 minutes of Bible study. Yeah. No, just do your day, live your best day, and then at night say thank you.
Right.
Thank you for allowing me to have that day.
Yeah. The other day, someone was having a lot of anxiety about doing some certain things, and I told them to just picture your guardian angel with you the whole time. Yeah. Always sitting next to you in your car, walking down the street, and in the room when you're doing your speech and everything like this. And it really helped her. Yeah. And I'm trying to think of the show. She literally made it look like it's like this big white blobby cute guy. It's like from a cartoon or something. I don't know.
Big white blobby cute guy.
Yeah, it's not a person. It's like a.
Oh, like the movie?
Yeah.
Like Big Hero 6?
Yeah. That's what she pictured the guardian angel to look like.
That's different.
Right? Because you can do whatever you want. Because, you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be, it can be whatever you want, because a lot of our imagery comes from a certain artist at a certain time, right? Yeah. And people get mad about that. Like, why does he look like a certain race, or why, She made hers look like that, and had fun with it. She said when she'd walk down the sidewalk, she'd move over. Like, she's like, I don't want to walk into the street.
I think she might be a little bit no,
crazy. Come on, she just had fun with it. But it did help her, because even though it's silly, it was like, I'm not alone, and she just
I do it. I run 3 miles every day because I'm just physically.
You haven't mentioned.
I'm physically superior to everyone,
and humble.
All glory to God. That's it. No, but I'm running 3 miles every day, and when I get tired, I have these thoughts, and like, I sort of like, give me the strength, and I picture sort of, in a spiritual sense, like I have angels or something behind me, and so it's not so much I'm running alone. It's like sort of like I'm leading a charge.
Yeah, right.
And like, once again, I feel emboldened by it, but I don't try to, it's not like, I'm not like throwing my head down and saying I am nothing. Like, I like to feel strong with God.
Yes.
I don't try and say I'm not really so much for the everyday sacrifice. Like, I need, like some people like it, but I don't, like, where it's the like cover your eyes and it's like 45 minutes of prayer, and I need to do this to be seen. Like, I see God as my strength. Okay. And so I allow it to give me power. Yeah. And then I'm always thankful for that power from God. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's like, it's not, yeah.
So you would like the Archangel Michael.
Oh yeah, that's he's the GOAT. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's not like, I don't think, for me, I have more spiritual experience doing that than like 45 minutes of Bible study, and it's like I need to sacrifice every hour, like every 2 hours of the first morning to this. No, I push myself. I'm not like I'm gonna live my life. It's always in a way of pushing myself, whether it be cleaning or running. But I find the most spiritual experiences when I'm pushing myself to the max, and then I'm thanking God for giving me that power, giving me that strength.
Yeah. We talked about that a few podcasts ago, how prayer looks different for everybody.
Yeah.
And that's a good example, you know.
I always say that.
Whatever you relate to.
I always say that when I don't.
Really?
It's a common thing I say. I'll like when I think about something, and then it comes up. I'm like, I always say that. And it's like, no, you don't. It's probably the first time you're saying it.
Well, you always think it. Maybe.
I always think that.
Yeah.
But like, do I always think it? I've thought that. I've thought over that.
People say that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And it's like you didn't say anything.
That's not what you're saying.
No, it's just his face.
I always say that. So like, you see these like and I say a lot. You know.
Yeah, I know.
In like South American countries where they're very Catholic down there and stuff, they have the altars and they're very deep in prayer. And then I think to myself, are they more spiritual than someone who prays once a day? And then I was like, no, I think it's a very personal thing. The reason why they do that is because that's what they feel like. That is them putting the effort that they feel like they should, you know? Mm-hmm. For someone that might be praying once a day. For someone that might just be living a good life. Like for me, it's pushing myself physically. And then it's like that is what makes me feel like I'm giving this to God. I am doing this to increase my spirituality. So I don't think any one form is better than another. It's a personal thing.
Right.
And you know, you do as much as personally you feel that's what's allowing you to get that closer connection.
And this constant connection and this prayer and this devotion is cleaning ? Your heart, your spirit.
Yeah.
Because cleanliness, does it mean that we used hand sanitizer, or does it mean I have a clean heart? Because lots of the Bible talks about clean intentions, clean heart.
Yeah.
You know, so just like a different podcast I want to do is about clothing, because so much of the Bible talks about clothing that's imaginary clothing, you know, robe of righteousness and stuff like this. So as for cleanliness, the Bible.
Yeah. So you were saying,
clean meat, clean people, clean hearts. What is it? You know?
You know why I like what you just said? So yeah, you were saying, is that a metaphor? That house of cleaning.
Right.
And I think we always come back, or at least I'm always talking about. No, that's not what I said.
I always say
that people look at the Bible too literally, and there's these overarching themes that if people saw that, there'd be a lot less bickering and stuff. And I think it always comes back to like love and stuff. But in this story, so we have the two women. One's cleaning a ton for Jesus,
right,
and the other is just there with Jesus,
right.
And she's doing the right thing. Is that person cleaning, trying to follow every single line of the Bible, of the scripture? You know, I didn't work on Sundays. I didn't do this. Focus so much on that they're not giving to Jesus what he wants, which is
you're right.
Listening to him, understanding like, okay, just about love and stuff, being present. And so they're both doing good things, because no one's disagreeing that cleaning's not good.
Right.
It would be better. It would be great to have a clean house, but that's not what's important. You know, what's important is listening to Jesus, being there in the moment with him. And I think that can be compared just to studying and practicing Christianity, where it's like you have the one person who they are the perfect, I'm doing air quotes for the listeners, the perfect Christian. They do everything by the book, even to the strictest of the laws, you know. And then you have the other one who they're followers of Jesus, and they, you know, love their neighbor like themselves, live a good charitable life.
Yeah.
And I think, honestly, we just solved another Bible. We need a bell or something.
We do. We have a bell. Yeah. We should bring it.
I think, yeah, and that person is, yes, you're cleaning for me, but that person is doing what I truly want, which is,
yeah,
you know,
because
following me.
He had been saying to the different rabbis and stuff that they were too preoccupied with the
because that's what they did.
Ritual.
They would go, you know, line by line, and they'd have argument for a whole day. Did this mean this? Or this mean this?
I think there was a time when someone even had Jesus over and he didn't do something, like he didn't cleanse or something.
Yeah.
He was like, "Are you for real?" Yeah.
So, I mean, why don't we put it like that? Because, you know, and that's why I implore. We talked about not looking line to line, right?
Yeah, right.
And I implore you to read the Bible in an open mind. And what is the theme? Like what is this? Because really, how important? Like, Jesus is no longer on earth. Right. Well, you know, he's everywhere, but
as man.
And so, how important is it to go forward, learn the life of? It's better to talk to Jesus than to clean, and that's when I like to think, like, what is the deeper meaning here, and then you can make it up for yourself. Maybe it is just don't clean ever, but it's I find it more powerful to.
Sneeze.
Do you have to say it?
Just in case someone was like, what the heck was that?
I find it more powerful to look for a bigger meaning, one that correlates to all the other themes in the Bible, which I think out of everything Jesus said, that makes more sense when I think of it like that.
It does. It does make more sense. There was a lot of washing his feet.
Yeah.
There's one where it's talking about praying, and I think he's saying, like, don't be braggy and like look at me. Oh, I think if you're feeling down or if you're in bad times, and I think it says, like, wash your face, get up, you know, and go out. So are we saying that every single time it's going to be? Yeah, it's hard when you really say it's all going to be symbolism. Then you get, because there's even there's a possessed guy. And they're like, and he hadn't bathed in 10 years or something. Like,
you're just laying there.
Is that his heart, his spirit, or is it his body?
I know, it's so tricky, you know, talking about.
Because the people were surprised when he reappeared and he was dressed and clean and stuff.
Yeah, it's so tricky talking about scripture, symbolism versus reality.
Yeah,
and then what is it? But I just try not to dwell on it too much.
Yeah.
Because I think,
let it speak to you.
Yeah. You know, we're not... The Bible was put together and written by the apostles and stuff. And I think God, and if anyone, has the power to make reality all a metaphor, you know? Mm-hmm. So everything that Jesus did may have actually happened.
Yeah.
But it still all plays as a metaphor. Because, I'm sorry, can God not do both? He can do anything.
Right. Also, it's for different levels. So when you're in school, you learn math a certain way, a certain concept when you're in first grade. Mm-hmm. And then they build on the concept in second, and they build all the way up so that they don't introduce a brand new concept you've never had by 8th grade. You've been building on it. So is the easiest concept the parable of cleaning, and then as you go on, if you want to go on, if you need to go on, if that didn't talk to you, you know, you can keep going.
Yeah, I think the New Church speaks of this. I could be misquoting it completely, but they always talk about the natural, the spiritual, and the celestial of like levels, and you know, you're all born into the natural state, so you're just humans, and you just are with your senses, and then you can move up, you know, when you're more spiritually awoken to the spiritual, and then finally is the celestial, which is, and I think the Bible and the Word sort of follows that same pattern. You know, it is a book chronologically that you can read, and it's a story. The entire thing is a story. Some of the chapters of that story are pretty boring, you know, when you get to like Numbers and stuff, but it's not this like I think a lot of people don't read the Bible think it is all it is just completely thrown together, but it's chronological.
Yeah.
Like you're reading the story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, obviously, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, they sort of repeat the same story,
Mm-hmm.
but generally from Genesis to Revelations, it's timeline and you're reading it.
And the New Testament is callbacks.
Yeah, exactly.
It's constant callbacks.
And so you can read it as that, but then I feel like there is that spiritual and celestial level of the Bible. It's a special book, and
it's so special.
It's so special.
It is. No, because what I was just hopefully will you remember what you were saying?
Yeah.
Okay. It's so special that when you read it,
mm-hmm.
you are being blessed by it, even if you don't understand it.
Yes. Yeah, and that's a cool thing. That's why I think I recommend everyone to read it, because you start on that natural, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But understand, if you believe in this. If you don't, then I don't know why you've listened this long. But
So see me.
When you read it, understand that even don't beat yourself up and what does it mean? What does it mean?
Yeah.
Because you're reading the same words that have that spiritual and celestial meaning, even if you're reading it on a on a natural level. And that's how I felt a lot in the Old Testament. I would read every word of these just lineages and names and something, but something felt right about just pronouncing the weird names over and over, because it's I don't really understand a lot of things. I didn't understand. It wasn't okay, well, I would recommend someone skip Numbers, skip Deuteronomy, just skip. I don't think so. I think I don't understand it, but I do think there is meaning in it.
No, it's so helpful for the growth of your spirit and the fortifying of your spirit. When children are little and you take them to the park or to a party or read them a book or you comb their hair, they don't remember it.
Yeah.
Okay. So when they get a little bit older and it goes, oh, there's a funny comedy routine by Nate Barsgatti, and he said he took his daughter to Disneyland, I think, and people said she's not going to remember it, and he he's a comedian, so he was like, yeah, we should just lock her in a room for the first 2 or 3 years. It'd be much easier. What you do with the children when they won't remember it,
mm-hmm.
But it enmeshes in their being.
And we'll look at what's it called, tragedies that happen to children.
Exactly.
They don't remember it, but when they're 18,
right,
they might have this drug problem, and it's how did that happen? It's there's some deep rooted trauma.
Right.
Why it goes the opposite.
He didn't remember it.
Exactly.
Right.
It goes the opposite way too.
So
there's deep rooted love and stuff.
Reading the Bible reminds me of that, because okay, you didn't know what it meant. It doesn't matter. It is, it's forming connections and it's webbing you in.
Yeah. And that's also what got me reading the Bible, is because you can only so even if you're talking to the best the most well-read person from the Bible, I think the Bible is such a personal thing,
mm-hmm.
with it having those layers. And so someone might be at a level that you're not, or a level under you, right? If you're listening to someone who they're telling you stories from a very naturalistic perspective, you might have read that story and got a completely different thing out of it.
Right.
I think there is layers like that.
And I want people to know, if something means something to you in the Bible, and someone tries to convince you it means something else.
Oh, tell them to kick rocks.
Yeah.
Tell them
that's what it means to you. That's your message. That's your interpretation.
No,
that's your
absolutely. Tell them to eat dirt. A lot of people think they take a lot of this stuff that people tell them as fact, but guess what? We're all the same people. This guy's not better than me because he has a funny hat. And this guy's not better than me because he has 20/20 vision.
Yeah.
Which I don't have.
Sensitive.
And so growing up, I think a lot of people don't really put those things together, because it's in a lot of other subjects. I'm going to say every other subject.
Right.
It's always, there's a smarter person than me about it.
And math is math.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
That's the answer. You can't say, well, you know what? I think it's a little, it's not.
I think 2 + 2 is 5, because there's a deeper meaning.
Right.
It's no, then you're a dummy. But we live in a world where, especially young kids, they go through school and it's always that.
Yeah.
What teachers are telling you about math, listen to them. Don't tell them to kick rocks.
Right.
What you're learning about history, well, history is sort of different, but generally listen to them.
Right.
Science, don't argue about what the periodic table is.
Right.
But when it comes to spirituality and religion, that is so personal, and no one has the answers.
No.
Okay, I don't have the answers. The Pope doesn't have the answers. They have their beliefs, and I'm not saying discredit everyone, but
yeah, it can help you if you're totally lost. Yeah. If you think we're lying, Google one Bible verse. Just Google Luke 8:8.
Yeah, and
you will see it means this. Next guy's going to say nope. It means this. Next guy's going to say this. So if you thought there was an answer of what Luke 8:8 meant, there's not.
No.
You can ask people.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't ring true with you,
yeah, it's
don't walk away with it.
On last podcast we talked, or 2 podcasts ago, we talked about dreams, and it's the same thing. I'm not at all saying don't listen to your ministers and whatever they say is a lie. Not at all. Mm-mm. But
you'll feel it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and if it feels like, if you're there like gritting your teeth, like I don't think that's what I believe, like that goes against my own moral compass, don't attack yourself and say, well, I must be wrong.
Right.
Because, Reverend Bobby over there said this. No.
Because Jesus literally says in the Bible, there's no, you'll know it.
Yeah.
Listen and feel it, and you will know that is not right or that is right.
Yeah. Exactly.
So just so that. All right. So, there's a Catholic feast day or holy day. I can't remember what it is, but it's when the Pope washes the priest's feet.
Yeah.
And it's in memory of when Jesus washed the apostles' feet.
Yeah.
What do you think he was doing there?
Oof. I wish you had told me this on previously. I have to think about it. What do I think he was doing?
Sorry. It just came to me. I just thought that went with cleanliness,
right?
Was it anything to do with dusty feet?
No, I don't think so. You know what it I think, I mean, I'm trying to get some thoughts on the spot here, but I think it comes down to love. I think a lot of what Jesus was trying to show, because I think God is love, right? Old Testament God, New Testament, well, it's the same person, but, because a lot of people will point out, like,
portrayed, yeah.
Whoa, like, you fear God and all these things. And I think Jesus came to, but always in the Old Testament would say, and that's what people would say, like, this doesn't really make sense. He's saying, I am love, and that's like the one thing that matters. But then what else, like, when he flooded the world, whatever. I think Jesus came to sort of correct all that, and with even Jesus, a lot of people, would fall on their face and say, I'm not worthy.
Yeah.
And I think it sort of was just the biggest portrayal of, I am here because I love you. Like, okay. I love you, and not, let me stand on my throne,
right,
and bow before me. It was how much more of a personal, selfless love can you get than a person of Jesus' stature, being God in human form, to wash man's feet. It's right. Like, come on.
Yeah, and doesn't it form such a trust too that, how would you question his motives or anyone's motives? Like, yeah. if they're willing to do that, it's like.
And he, at this point, he already had such a following.
Right.
It's like,
yeah,
he could have been a ruthless leader if he wanted to, and then people would have followed him to his death, but he wasn't that.
Right.
Now, were any of the apostles ticklish? Because if someone touched my feet, I would lose it.
That's hysterical. That's really hysterical.
Or yeah, because I was thinking, imagine that.
I don't think they were, and I'll tell you why.
They walked so much.
So much.
I have like I have privileged feet.
Yes, yeah.
Been in socks all my life.
Yeah, they didn't have Nike. I'm guessing they were desensitized.
Yeah,
sandals
that
makes rocks.
Sense.
And, yeah.
So that would be. I'd be on like I'd be like the last one. In
my God!
It's like I just know
that
I have these sensitive feet.
That's so funny.
And I just start freaking out.
Oh my God. Okay, so we should really take it with a lot of symbolism.
Yeah, but the feet thing. I thought we were going back to just cleanliness.
No,
in general.
I was putting it. Now, as you know, I'm sure that is the Bible. The body is the temple, right? your body's a temple?
Yeah.
Yeah, that has to be. And so you'd keep it clean.
Yeah.
So just we were talking about cleanliness of your house and stuff like this, but your body, the feet, the head.
Yeah.
Keep your body clean. So we're gonna agree on that. And do you think that tattoos are desecrating this temple, or piercings, or actually, what's the word for scarring? I forget.
Ooh, like
it's called
scarification.
Yeah, or branding.
Yeah.
Are you desecrating this body? Or are you making it unclean?
Well,
clean.
I'm trying to think on a Spencer scale. I think tattoos are fine. I don't think it but on like a biblical scale, here's my thing with a lot of the things in the Bible of of real strictness.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of it is just sort of trying to get people not to be stray too far from their path on an earthly scale.
Yeah.
So like, there's a lot of things that I don't really have a problem with on an earthly scale, that it's like, I think the reason it's in the Bible is just sort of always bring it back to keep focused and stuff.
Yeah.
So with like, tattoos and all that, do I think they're a problem? No. Do I think the reason the Bible is put there is sort of like, don't put too much value on your physical body.
Yeah.
And so is it wrong? No, not at all. But it's just sort of like, remember what's important. Like,
yeah.
People get caught up in working on their physical body so much, and it's like, why don't you get some spiritual tattoos?
Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
I don't know what that would be, but
no, yeah. Well, yeah, it's sort of a they say like, oh, you want a tattoo? That's a lifetime commitment. Well, spiritual tattoo would be more than a lifetime commitment, because you're committing to something.
Yeah, that would be tough.
Yeah,
but it'd be a lot. Yeah, I wonder if as many people get tattoos if they kept them in heaven.
Yeah, I don't think God cares about tattoos. I don't even, if you got the devil on you or a pentagram, I think it's so.
Well,
no, I don't think he would care.
No. Well,
he wouldn't care.
No. I guess when you say that, I am the only thing I'm saying well about isn't the physical tattoo. Like, if I got a devil tattoo, I think you're right. I don't think he would care. But I was just thinking the type of person that would get a devil tattoo also has different beliefs. But
yeah, but maybe they don't. So that's why.
Yeah.
They're just doing it for different reasons. But generally, I think you honor God by keeping your body clean, because it's a gift from God, right?
Without tattoos?
No. I just meant in general. Like, keeping yourself. This is a gift from God. No matter what type of body He gave you, there's people who don't have all their limbs, or they don't have eyesight. It's still a gift from God.
Yeah.
And just to keep it as good as you can. That's sort of a thanksgiving to God.
Yeah.
So if you abuse your body,
and just to do full circle of with the tattoos and stuff, I'm going to make up a Bible story here on the spot, because I'm allowed to do that. I'm just kidding. I'm not making it up, but I'm using a comparison of what we talked about. The two women in the house.
Okay.
There's one woman who is no tattoos whatsoever.
Okay.
And she's in the shower making herself completely clean. She's only eaten vegetables for 6 months.
Okay.
And there is a fully tattooed girl who just finished McDonald's and is coming off of a 6-day bender, but is sitting there with Jesus. And it's like, is the cleanliness that this person's doing wrong? No. But what's more important? Jesus would say, this person's with me. This person is doing the right thing.
Okay.
And so obviously you want to strive for the ideal of
both.
Of both.
Yeah.
But one's more important. And I think realistically that's what Jesus came on earth to say.
Yeah.
Is, yes, you can do things that, like, you live a life like Mary, where you are without sin, but realistically that's not going to happen. It says that in the Bible. It's like, you will all sin, and that's okay. What's more important than those trivial things are, do you follow me? And what I think follow me means isn't so much I'm going to say this. This is my belief. I don't think you need to say, Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. And like, that's, boom, you're done as a Christian. When Jesus said, I am God, follow me to get to heaven, I think that's to live the way he lived, to live what he preached, which is to love your neighbor fully, to always put God above, all your achievements and everything. Yeah, so just literally love your neighbor, love yourself, love God. That's a trinity right there. So anyone who does that, I think, then you are doing the right thing in Jesus' eyes.
So what is your what's your shower routine? You use just bar soap?
I have actually a pretty weird shower routine. I didn't want to talk about this because I haven't talked to anyone about it. So,
this is the place then.
Yeah. No, because it's good. I think it might make me sound like a little bit of a church nut, but so I take a shower fully.
Good starter.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go into like what soap I use. So I take a shower, like shampoo, soap, scrub.
We could get a sponsor though. You sure it's not like Irish Spring or something?
Well, you don't want to pigeonhole yourself.
True.
So
I'm open to.
Just like I'll just bleep out. I use shampoo.
Yeah, no, use
I'll undo that blank as soon as I get spelled.
No, I've really found that works great.
And so shampoo, body, rinse, conditioner. But just like in the Bible, there's naturalistic and there's spiritual explanations. Yeah. I hear it's good to rinse out conditioner with cold water.
Yeah, true.
But I go one step above because, I like to push myself. So I turn the heat all the way off. Well, I stay out of the water. So I turn the handheld to jet and I face it away from me and I crank it all the way to cold. So it's ice cold. Because I'm like, one, I want my hair luscious. But then I have a nice little prayer. And I say, God, you help me in all my trials and tribulations. And so this is a visual representation. So provide me warmth through this cold.
I love it.
Make this cold water be a example of things that are hard to do.
Yeah. And
so then I go for it and my brain gets all scattered and stuff. But I try in those moments to only think about God and I just repeat like God is I'm with the Lord and the Lord's with me. And I just do that because I think Abraham said that.
Okay.
When I was reading, I was like, that's pretty cool. And so I just do that, rinse. And then I'm all scatterbrained and I turn the cold water off real quick. And I'm like, ugh. And it's not fun.
Listen, do you know Wim Hof?
No.
First name Wim, last name Hof. Hoff, I believe. You can look him up on Instagram, probably on YouTube. He has a whole entire practice dedicated to taking a cold shower. He goes beyond. He goes into like.
He takes the whole shower cold. I only do the
end.
No.
He tells you just to do the end. But no, I'm saying he also goes up to like the North Pole. I don't know. He's one of the has retreats where everyone goes into the freezing
plunges.
lake. I can't ever imagine doing it, but if you check him out, you're literally helping your brain by doing that.
Oh, really?
You're doing it spiritually, which is also strong, amazing. But it connects. It activates all the healing powers of your body. He talks all about it.
So that's why I'm so big and strong.
Yeah, he says that in our life, in our modern day life, our body is always regulated by the heat, the air conditioner, your clothes, your car. And in the old, I don't know when, caveman, I don't know.
You were in the elements.
Yeah, and your body was like revving up, revving down, warming, closing, dilating. And so you literally didn't even know that you were doing that.
No, and that's the good thing. I'm going to tell you all the benefits and why you all should start ending your showers cold water. Because also...
I don't know, Spencer.
I get my luscious hair. So, in the Bible... There's so many things that people are like, oh, why does it say that? Like, why don't you eat pork? I think it was back, pork can be a dangerous meat.
Right.
Like, if it's not cared about properly. And so there's an earthly reason, but then there's a spiritual reason of, like, sort of restraining from something.
Mm-hmm.
And so I use this in the same practice. I find something that will help me on a physical scale, on that natural scale.
Mm-hmm.
and then I can give it a spiritual spin. And so once again, like I was literally saying earlier about running or cleaning or something, it's like, give me the strength to do this, and then you both feel good that you did something for yourself. You know, you are benefiting from it, but it's also you're putting it to a higher plane. So same thing. It's like I'm getting my hair to be luscious for the girl's hands to go through, but at the same time, I get that 30-second moment to put myself through something and think of nothing but God.
Hit the showers.
Hit the showers. So you know what, guys? Clean your rooms. Take cold showers. And...
brush your teeth. So that your mouth is clean, and then you can have clean words.
And that's our show.
Through.
Thank you for coming.
Brush up.
Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. And
he's not in a bad mood.
I'm not in a bad mood anymore. I'm staring at my broken screen, but
you just reminded yourself and you've ruined everything.
All right, see you guys. Peace.